Hey Mama, I'm Georgie, naturopath, feeding therapist, and mother, and I work with mothers like you to help them to recover from pregnancy and birth and to reclaim their vitality and well-being in postpartum so that they can enjoy the journey of motherhood ahead. I wanted to share with you today a little bit about what it's like working with me and what's involved in the process from the time you book your initial appointment to when we first meet and following along through the journey of helping you to feel better again. So I offer one-on-one appointments at Radius Health, which is a beautiful women's health clinic here in North Melbourne. And my appointments can be face-to-face here in the clinic, or they can be run via telehealth in the comfort of your home, whatever works for you. Now, your baby and children or toddlers are welcome to come to either the face-to-face or the telehealth appointment. We can totally go with the flow and work around your mothering juggle. But I know for some women, they really like to set aside that time to have that space to really focus on themselves and the appointment, and that can work too. So whatever option suits you best, we can just go with the flow. So after you book your initial appointment, you'll receive a welcome email that includes details of your appointment, and we'll have a new client intake form. If you've booked a telehealth appointment, it will have the telehealth link in there too. So that initial intake form asks some really important background information questions, which helps me to get a sense about what's going on for you, but it also ensures that when we do meet for that initial appointment, we can make the best use of our time together and just dive straight into your main concern without having to cover some of that background info. So in our first appointment, in our initial appointment, I will invite you to share the story of your health concern, your symptoms, and give you that opportunity to tell me what's been going on for you. And then from there, I will ask some questions, trying to really get that full picture and understand what might be at play. We'll cover off, some other systems and areas that I think will be relevant, and that might be, diet and lifestyle factors. We might be talking about sleep and energy, or mood, or hormone balance, or digestive function. There are lots of systems that can work together, and I'll be asking you questions to help understand what's going on. After this, we'll talk about what I think might be going on for you, the contributing factors, and how we can best address this. Typically in my work, I take more of a biochemical approach, which means that I like to use blood tests and read blood test results to really help me form the most accurate understanding of what's going on in the body. So we'll talk about the option of testing together, whether it will be beneficial and useful, and whether that's something that you're interested in doing. If it is something we decide to go ahead with, there are two options available to us to do this. The first being working in collaboration with your GP. The second being doing the test privately together ourselves. And there are benefits and challenges of both options, but we'll work out what option is best for you. Then in our initial appointment, we'll also discuss some potential treatment options and some diet and lifestyle strategies that I think can help improve your symptoms, as well as start addressing any of those potential underlying causes that I think might be at play. Occasionally we decide not to start any treatment in that initial appointment because it's important to get those test results to really understand what's driving any imbalances, but it's different for every person, and obviously we'll work this out together. During all appointments that we would have together, I will constantly be taking notes, and at the end of the session, I'll provide you with the summary session notes of everything we discussed, any tips and strategies that we talked about putting in place, details about any products that I prescribe in the prescription, and any other resources for your reading. And I'll give you a copy of these if we're working face-to-face, or email a copy of them to you after the appointment. After this will be our first follow-up appointment, and this will usually be maybe 2 to 4 to 6 weeks after our initial appointment. It really does depend on which direction we've headed, whether we've gone down the testing pathway or jumped straight into some treatment strategies. And we're usually looking at about a 45-minute appointment for this first follow-up. So in this follow-up appointment, we will cover off any test results and run through those. We will, evaluate if we started any initial treatments, how are they going, have we got the progress we expected, and we'll also cover off, further details of some of those other systems and areas that might be involved that we might not have had time to do in that initial appointment. And that's just helping me to continue to build that picture of your health and put all the pieces of the puzzle together. From here, we typically have a number of follow-up appointments that might be 4 to 6 weeks apart, just depending on what we're working on and how long we need in between appointments to put strategies into place and allow time for the medicines to take effect. And these appointments are usually 30 to 45 minutes, just depending on what we need to cover in each appointment and how much there is there to discuss and unpack each catch-up. In terms of how many follow-up appointments will be needed, it's a tricky question to answer, but most people need at least 4, sometimes 5 follow-up appointments, spaced out over a month to a month and a half. But it really does depend on, what we're trying to work on, what imbalances we saw in the blood test, how long certain systems and areas take to heal and improve. But look, it's different for everyone, and we'll constantly be discussing our treatment direction and what I foresee, moving ahead in that sense. Included in the cost of each appointment is obviously the consultation time that we have together, but it also includes the time that I spend before our appointment reviewing the case notes and preparing for that session, as well as reviewing and interpreting any blood test results that come in. And it also includes some post-appointment time where I would reflect on our session and our strategy and our direction to make sure that, we're heading where we need to go. And it also includes the time that I spend speaking to other people in your care team, doctors, specialists, anyone else you're working with, or preparing any letters for support, for example, like with the blood testing. You can book your initial appointment easily online using our booking system. The link to do this will be just down here below the video. And if you're not sure if this is the right step for you just yet, well, I offer complimentary 20-minute clarity calls, which are the perfect opportunity to ask any questions you might have about the process or about your health concern and how I can help you, as well as giving us a chance to see if we're going to be a good fit working together, because that's important too. And you can book one of these calls using the same link just down here. So I hope that gives you some insight into the process and what it's like working with me. I know these can be big decisions when deciding to, engage in a relationship with a health practitioner and whether it's going to be the right person and the right fit for you. So if you have any other questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I might see you for an appointment soon.